Episode 5. Diego and the Duende. This tale begins with Diego, a young man who arrived in the land of opportunity with hopes of a better life, leaving behind a life of sickness and poverty in a remote Mexican village. Unbeknownst to him, however, a sinister presence had followed him across borders, a malevolent duende seeking retribution for the transgressions of generations long gone. Diego's past was shrouded in sorrow, as his village had been gripped by an unending cycle of hardship and illness. The locals whispered that the village was cursed, its misfortune stemming from the actions of their ancestors, who had once tormented duendes, mystical beings with a penchant for both mischief and malevolence. The duendes were said to be vengeful creatures, harboring a grudge that spanned centuries, and as fate would have it, Diego's ancestors were among those responsible for the torment. Desperate for an escape from the clutches of this curse, Diego had embarked on a treacherous journey, crossing deserts and borders, leaving behind the village that had known nothing but despair. As he struggled to make a life for himself in America, he thought he had escaped the grip of the curse, leaving behind the old legends as nothing more than tales to frighten children. But darkness has a way of following, and in the quiet moments of his new life, Diego began to hear faint whispers in the shadows. At first, he dismissed them as the echoes of homesickness, but as days turned into weeks, the whispers grew more insistent. Strange occurrences, too, began to unsettle him. Objects shifted when he wasn't looking, and his dreams were filled with eerie visions of twisted creatures. Diego confided in a few friends from the village who had also made the journey, hoping to find solace in shared experiences. Yet their faces paled as he recounted his encounters, and they urged him to seek protection, for they believed the curse had followed him across the border, carried by the very duende his ancestors had wronged. Doubt gnawed at Diego, but he remained steadfast in his skepticism until one fateful night when the veil between reality and myth was torn asunder. As the moon hung low, casting elongated shadows, Diego glimpsed a figure darting just beyond his vision, a fleeting, misshapen silhouette. Panic coursed through his veins, for he had glimpsed the very creature he thought was confined to ancient tales. Diego's sense of security crumbled, replaced by a mounting terror that intensified with each passing day. He withdrew from his friends, locked himself indoors after dark, and began to desperately research any method of appeasing or evading the vengeful duende. The creature seemed to grow bolder, its presence felt even in the glaring light of day. Then, as mysteriously as he had arrived, Diego vanished. His friends searched the cramped apartment he had called home, finding only remnants of his desperate struggle, shattered furniture, scrawled notes, and a sense of lingering dread. The authorities were alerted, but their efforts led only to dead ends. Diego had disappeared without a trace, leaving behind a haunting enigma. Years passed, and Diego's story became one of many whispered about in hushed tones. A tale recounted around campfires or shared in the quiet corners of local bars. Was he a victim of circumstance, a casualty of his own fears? Or had the curse he fled managed to claim him in the end? As the village in Mexico continued to languish in its cursed existence, some began to wonder if Diego's departure had sparked a new chapter in their shared suffering. The duende, they believed, had finally exacted its revenge, proving that the past's wrongs could never truly be outrun.